It is estimated that about 4,000 chimpanzees and 3,000 gorillas are killed each year for illegal commercial trade. In 2006 alone, 23,000 elephants were reported to have been killed in Africa for illegal ivory trade. These figures remind us about the rate at which we are losing our wildlife species, a potential source of revenue through ecotourism, a moral and physical loss incurred forever. In the Northwest Province, a lady was recently given 6-month imprisonment and ordered to pay a fine of over 2 million CFA francs for trading in meat derived from chimpanzee and elephant. Yet, another case is pending in the Court of First Instance in Bamenda involving an ivory dealer. Primatologically, we risk losing these animals and other endangered wildlife species in not too distant future. In an attempt to address this trend of wildlife extinction, the Ministry of Forestry and Wildlife, with the technical support of the last great ape organization, LAGA, in 2003 launched a nationwide program on wildlife law enforcement. Since its launching, the program has been trying to effectively enforce the 1994 wildlife law by bringing offenders to justice. This amidst wide media publicity in order to create deterrence in wildlife crime, which hitherto has been the missing ingredient in the conservation formula in Africa south of the Sahara. It is within the framework of this program and following the increasing wave of wildlife crimes in the Northwest Province, considered a road junction for wildlife trafficking, that the Northwest Wildlife Administration called on traditional rulers to sensitize their population on the existing wildlife law. In response to that call, His Royal Highness von Mbofoa Zofoa III of Bamungo in Ngohketunjia Division and his population rescued a leopard and a baboon trapped in a neighboring forest. The animals were then brought to the Yaounde Mvogbetsi Zoo, but unfortunately the leopard died from trap injuries. Von Mbofoa Zofoa III was, however, praised by the Wildlife Administration of the Northwest Province for that great gesture.
Hunters from the village came and informed me that their trap caught a big leopard. So I immediately asked them not to kill it, not to shoot it. So I told them that they should take net from the palace, surround the area, throw net on the animal, and make sure they bring it to the palace alive. And that was exactly what they did. And the animals got to the palace alive. I had to contact the administration for quick action to be taken so that they can be transported to the appropriate quarters. I've been trying at the level of traditional council and in Gumba to talk to the people, to send news to the quarter heads that all those who are hunting should be very careful. Animals like lions, like leopards, like baboons, or if just that in Northwest don't have elephants again, but those that are around, we are doing everything possible to protect them.
If allowed to live in our forest freely, these endangered wildlife species, most of which are endemic to specific regions in our country, could be a sustainable source of revenue for the local population through ecotourism. That explains why, when the animals arrived at the palace of the Fawn of Bamungo, a member of the traditional council in charge of justice and peace, Shishu Tumenta Cecilia, immediately organized for their health and feeding care before their transportation to the Yaounde Mvogbetsi Zoo.
The hunter brought those animals. So we tried to feed them with the wives. Then one was not feeling well. It was weak. The other one was sharp. I saw them. Then the fawn told me that he is going, how are we going to do it? I said, we cannot reel it. So the fawn said, okay, you go and cut it to the forestry district. Then he went and reported, then they came and collected. So we don't know where they are now, right now. As I'm talking, I don't really know where they are now. Okay, that is crazy.
On his part, His Royal Highness, the Paramount Fawn of Bali, in Mezam Division, Dr. Ganyonga III, is quite aware of what the local extinction of wildlife means to the local population. a message he has been driving home since coming to throne in 1985.
When I took over this fondom towards the end of 1985, I realized that some animal species were not just endangered, some were already extinct in some parts that I knew the animals existed here in Bali. And I think I had mentioned in one of my talks in the print media that we had a part of Bali that was called Ngengap, and in fact it is still called Ngengap, which literally means the antelope bush, bush of antelopes. Antelopes used to be there in huge numbers, but because the hunters did not know that even wild animals are limited in numbers, they went hunting indiscriminately, and these animals today are no longer there. That is just symptomatic of the sort of thing that can happen to any sort of animal that we have. So if we want to utilize these rare creatures in a meaningful way, we have to be conscious of the fact that they are limited. And if you over-exhaust them, if you use them not sustainably, there is the danger that society, we, the owners of the native people and society at large, is going to lose these precious animals. I think it is almost needless to say we have to join hands, to collaborate, to make these animals stay with us, to sensitize people who are not yet aware of government legislation to preserve these animals.
In the process of protecting endangered wildlife species, many people have a difficulty understanding the meaning and implication of wildlife extinction. However, people who have already lost their wildlife species have a real image of what wildlife species extinction means: losing the village's heritage potential for tourism and many other moral and physical losses forever. Wildlife extinction means losing the country's heritage potential for tourism and many other moral and physical losses incurred forever and ever.